Now we've got everything we need. We've got pencils, paper, boards. For anybody new here though, what seems to be missing? Erasers, that's right, because we work just like Disney animators where they love to do what's called rough sketching. So we'll set out very nice and light, lock in our basic shapes, and then find our finer details to finish a masterpiece. With that being said, who's ready to draw Daisy? Yeah, wonderful. Now, like a lot of our classics, we want to start with a nice big circle, but we need plenty of room for different bills and accessories. So let's go ahead and go right in the center, adding in a circle about the size of a tennis ball. Now, as I go round and round here, really nice and light, I'm adding in a bunch of circles instead of just one. That way I can find a shape I really like without it needing to be perfect. Now, as I build up that circle, though, we're going to need some construction guidelines to help find her facial features. So right in the center, I'm going to add in this nice straight line that'll go straight up and down my entire page. This way we've got some good symmetry. We'll also add in an eye line, which is going to be pretty low for her. We got nice big eyes. So I'm going to add a nice straight line left to right near the bottom fourth of this circle. Now as I add that in, we got Kylo Ren's lightsaber through an orange. Amazing start, but the wrong franchise. So let's carve out some extra features to make this look like Daisy. Now in order to start something like her beak, I want to begin with this nice wide rainbow going side to side at the very bottom of this circle. I want to make sure it's not too wide though, so make sure we don't go past the width of our circle. Keep it nice and short. As I'm going back and forth though, I need some smile lines because, normally she's in very high spirits. So let's add in these nice small C curves, almost holding up this circle like little arms. That way they're coming to an end right above that rainbow. Now as I bring these down, I'm going to have them U-turn and turn into these weird S-curves as I cap off either side of her bill. This way it's one nice long shape. Now you'll notice why I'm starting really nice and light. Because of this symmetry, I want to make sure both sides are matching so it doesn't look like she got stung by a bee or anything. We'll go ahead and add in those pieces, but we won't get too dark just yet. That way it's really easy just to draw over and over again until you're happy with what you've got. Now, speaking of happy, let's add in some extra lines to help push this smile. So in the middle of each C curve, I'm going to add in this larger candy cane. This way it's her cheeks going around this smile line here. And as I bring them up and around, I'm going to have them come right back down and rest on that eye line that we drew. And then right in the center, I've left enough room to cap off each side of her smile with this very small rainbow called a smile line. This way it looks like she's got dimples. Now you'll notice, I really like these, so I've already started making them very nice and dark, which is a process here known as locking it in, which just means you find your favorite lines and you make them nice and bold for your final portrait. Now as I'm coming back down here, I'm going to do the same thing for those C curves and the rainbow we did at the beginning. But we won't lock in anything else like that circle, so we got to be absolutely sure about what we're locking in here. If there's anything you want to redraw or do again, definitely stay nice and light. After all, this is the one place the entire resort where we encourage y'all to be a little bit sketchy. Thank you for the pity laughs, guys. Those really keep me going. That in the holiday thing. Now as I'm locking in that rainbow here, we've got an awesome smile looking back at us. But we want a little bit of 3D since we don't want this to fall flat on the page. Now we added these extra rainbows, which are called snout lines. This way it looks like it's sticking out towards us. So I'm going to add in a nice small one right above her bill line here. And I'll add in a very nice light one right next to those cheek lines. This way we can start to see where her eyes are going to rest on either side. But of course, as I lock in the first part of these cheek lines, we need to see the bottom part of her smile or her jaw. Now instead of having to guess where these are going to be, we can actually use our cheek lines here to our advantage with something called drawing through, which just means we're going to very lightly draw through to find the other side. So from either side of these cheek marks, I'm going to add down 2 large diagonal lines, just drawing in towards each other through the bill line. As they're growing closer together though, I'm going to cap it off on the bottom with this nice stretched out U curve. And then for the inside of her mouth, I can do the same thing, this time from her smile lines. This way we've got a nice open smile here. She's looking really happy to see us. And on the inside, what do we think we're going to see? I'd tell him, yeah. And this is really the only sharp feature of her body, because we want to make sure she still looks very nice and friendly. A lot of our friends, especially like Mickey and Minnie, won't have any sharp points, so we can tell that they're a good guy. Versus if you think of any of our villains, we got like Maleficent, Gaston, they got a lot of sharp corners. But for Daisy, we just need the sharp tongue. That way we can tell that she's got a lot of good wits and she argues with Donald a lot. Once I lock that in though, I'll go back and start locking in the rest of my mouth here. And we've already gotten a lot of our tougher stuff out of the way, as well as already figured out half of this drawing. So this is a great time to catch up, check in. How are y'all feeling so far? Alright, we got some mumbles of nervousness. That's A-okay. Of course, way more importantly, are we having fun? Yes, that's what I love to hear. So we just have a good time drawing together, making jokes, having a good time. Now, of course, I think we're going to be able to see a lot more of that personality as we start to draw in her eyes. Now, like I said, these rainbows here are starting to figure out those little dents. They'll literally be 2 eggs laying in a nest. But in order to do this, I have 2 ways of doing it, so that way you can pick which one you like. So on the left-hand side, I'll show you what I mean first. Now on this left-hand side, first way of doing it is just draw a nice big oval going round and round. And then whatever gets cut off by the bottom, just lock in the beak line first. But if you don't want to do that, that looks really daunting. I've got another great way to do it. I'm going to add in these parenthesis curves on either side of those cheek marks. I'm going to cap off the bottom with a rainbow, and then the top with a rainbow. This way, we've got the same shape, both styles, but whichever one you like best is the one you can use. But like I said, let's go ahead and lock in that beak line first, just finally using that nice rainbow we had earlier. And then tying in the bottom of those cheek lines. This way it looks like the ending of Incredicoaster, where you go up and down. Now as I add those in, this is where I can go back and lock in these sides of my eyes here. And that way, I'm kind of using the sides that are easiest with my dominant hand first. That way I know exactly how to work on the other sides. Now locking those in, obviously she's looking a little bit possessed. But also, we can't really tell that this is Daisy just yet. It might end up being her boyfriend. So what's something we could add to her eyes here to fix it? Yeah, we need some good lashes. You know, she's super fabulous, has a wonderful routine, and this means she's also got some really nice lavender eyeshadow. So we're going to add in both of those features. Right at the top of these ovals, I'm going to add in these slanted rainbows. That way I'm keeping them really nice and open, that way she doesn't look too sleepy. After all, she's got to stay up till midnight too. But as I lock them in, I can make it as thick as I want if you want a lot of good eyeliner or mascara going on here. And for her lashes, for a lot of our characters, we love doing the big 3, which means like 3 different feathers, 3 different hairstyles. For this, we're going to do 3 lashes. And this also means we need to add in a little bit of a difference between her and Minnie Mouse. Because they are besties, but do happen to have that friendly rivalry from time to time. So anything Minnie has, Daisy has to have bigger. So her lashes are going to be about twice as big as Minnie's, being these nice big C curves sticking out towards the edges of her circle. I'm going to add in the middle one as the biggest, just going out nice and light, and then gradually building it up. And then I want 2 smaller C curves coming out from either side. And of course, if you want to add in any more or any less, maybe she's enjoying some of those holiday savings at the Sephora, it's your choice. But she's looking a lot more like herself. But to really help wake her up, let's add in some pupils. Now you can have her looking anywhere you want. If you want her looking up, down, all around. Maybe she inherited some hey tributes and just went side to side. I'm going to add in these smaller ovals right near the inner corners. That way she's looking straight forward. Now adding those in round and round, I'm going to lock them in really nice and dark. That way we can really see that personality shine. Which, you know, was very important for her character, because she started out just a little bit bland, honestly. She's been around for about 85 years, just a little bit less than Donald, who's about at 92, right about now. But starting out, she was not named Daisy. She was actually a different character named Donna Duck, because, you know, kind of let her match Donald since we had Mickey and Minnie. But the weird thing is that Donna was voiced by the same person who was playing Donald Duck, who was the one and only Clarence Ducky Nash. So of course, imagine Donald Duck's voice. Now imagine him talking to himself, and it's already hard enough to understand him, so if they're squawking and arguing with each other, you can't really tell who's talking and who's listening. So for Daisy, they really wanted her to have her own identity. They ended up changing up her look, giving her a nice new name, and of course giving her a way more feminine voice to help counteract with Donald. Now I'm going to add in some extra rainbows on top for her eyebrows, sticking just outside of my circle to add to that face shape. But as I lock these in, I'm not going to lock in the sides or the top just yet, so we have a few things we need to add on before we truly close off this circle. Now right above her cheek lines here, she's actually got just a little bit of extra feather fluff, so I'm going to add in 2 more seed curves right on top. Now as I lock in those sides, we're of course missing that very iconic accessory. What does she normally wear? A bow. Yeah, she's got that nice big bow, and like a lot of the mice rules, the ducks have rules too, which means that whatever accessories they wear has to sit more towards the front of their head, so that way it doesn't fall off the back. Same thing with the mice, it's got to sit in front of their ears. Now for Daisy, with this bow, this is really easy because I've already framed out where I want to go from my eyebrows. Right in the center, I'm going to be adding in the knots, which is just this tall oval sitting right on top. And now you can use however much or however little space you have left, because for me, I'm going to be drawing this out just like I would a butterfly. Now think of this oval as a little chrysalis. This caterpillar's got to emerge. So let's add in 2 tall half rainbows going up towards the top of our page for the antenna. They're going to U-turn back down with 2 sets of seed curves for the first set of wings. And then the second set is going to come down with 2 more seed curves, landing down right next to our eyebrows. Now as I continue building them up and locking them in, we've also got some extra folds and details since these bows are very nice and silky. So we want to add in some extra little texture here. As I'm heading back in towards the top, we'll actually add in 2 more seed curves that'll face the opposite direction for the folds. This way we can tell the fabric's folding over itself. As well as the little tension lines for the knots. So I'm just going to add in 2 small U-curves right next to that oval. But of course, this is also the perfect moment for some extra credits. If you want to add in maybe some different patterns, maybe she's got some polka dots or stripes, maybe you could have them match your own ears if you got a good pair on. Or you could even add on some fun fireworks, maybe some great different looks for her New Year celebration. Whatever you decide though, the very last thing we want to do before we're all done is sign your work. So find a great spot on your page and sign your name loud and proud, as you guys have drawn the one and only Daisy Duck.
Claire.
Alrighty, my friends, at the very end, how did we do? Some pretty great, as well as some shocked silence. These are going on the fridge the moment y'all get home. But of course, way more importantly, did we have fun?
For sure, yeah.
Yes, that's what I love to hear. Now, actually, I think I should see these for myself, being a judge of it, being an expert and all. So on the count of 3, why don't we turn those boards around and draw up our pictures of Daisy. We'll go on 1, 2, 3, Daisy! See how I know what y'all are talking about? These look fabulous! We got beautiful eyes, very nice lashes, gorgeous makeup, some wonderful photos. Loving all that
Very nice.
some fun extra credits. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, maybe she was born with it. It was Maybelline. Give yourself a big round of applause. These are great. Honestly, I love the talk statement on that one. Y'all did really good. So awesome job, everybody. That means you all graduated from the Animation Academy and can come back anytime. We've got a few more shows left tonight. But if we don't see you, have a happy New Year, and class is dismissed.
How about a nice round of applause for your artist, Faith? Thank you for joining us here at the Animation Academy. The exit doors on your left are now open.